Hi everyone, welcome to another video. Matcha's on my desk right now and she's just hanging out, so if she starts making things fall over and you hear sounds, then I'm not moving her. Why would I do that? So I have a whole lot of indie brand palettes that I really wanted to show off, and today really want to show off the Dawn of Fall palette from ItsBel Cosmetics. I'm hoping I can do more looks with these, but I really wanted to at least showcase a couple of the shades, and if you guys were interested in buying it, you can kind of see me use it. I definitely have been seeing a huge influx of indie brands making all shimmer or majority shimmer palettes with these very interesting formulas that look very beautiful in pan. I feel like they catch you with how pretty the pans look and they swatch really well, but you know, I wonder if some of the brands, maybe it's not actually the greatest. Like, I've heard some people buy these kinds of formulas and then they get a lot of like oil leakage into the cardboard packaging, which seems like a problem. So to prime, I did put on a sunscreen before this because for once I'm filming kind of in the morning. So to prime, I'm using the Benefit POREfessional Pearl. I didn't realize, but this is being discontinued, so it's already gone from Ulta and it's sold out on Benefit's website. It's sold out on Macy's, but I found it on Belk and I found it on sale. And again, this is one of those situations where I was like, oh, it's been on my wish list for a really long time, and now that it's being discontinued, I guess I need to go ahead and jump to it. I don't really see any pearl brightening, pinky brightening at all. It feels like the exact same as OG POREfessional. I don't see any brightening, so that's okay though. I just wanted to have it. Today I'm gonna use the GIORGIO Armani Luminous Silk Foundation. This is a mini size because it was cheaper and because I have been having so many issues with the Designer Lift foundation potentially being expired, I kind of wanted to pull this out and see how this performs on my skin. So this Luminous Silk at this point is much older than Designer Lift is, so that's why I was so surprised that my Designer Lift might have expired, and it makes me kind of mad because like that basically means I just wasted a lot of money. Thank you Selfridges for sending me an old foundation, but probably not my smartest idea buying a foundation that was about to be discontinued. So I'm gonna definitely take that lesson with me going forward. As I've said before, I'm not super into a very dewy base right now. I'm definitely into more of like that marshmallow finish, and I just wanted to see if this expired or not. This foundation looks pretty good today. It's a little bit dry patchy, but that's just because I put it on top of POREfessional. It's definitely not looking anywhere near as atrocious as Designer Lift was. So this foundation's fine. I do definitely kind of want to refresh the foundations in my collection. I haven't bought a new foundation in a super long time at this point, so I have a couple in my Sephora basket I've been thinking about, so looks fine. I do really like how when I use POREfessional, it does really smooth out my skin a lot. That's always really nice. But let me put on some concealer. I love how I just always have cat hair in like all of my makeup. Even the makeup with lids on it, I open it, I take the lid off, and there's cat hair inside. I mean, it's just amazing. I'm forever frustrated that I feel like I can never get the coverage that I want. Like, I see other YouTubers use concealer and it just erases everything, and I feel like I always can still see something, but whatever, that's fine. So today I feel like using the Flower Nose powder because my skin is already pretty mattified, so I don't need to go all out. And again, this is the powder meant for dry skin, so if you have oilier skin, they make a powder for that too. You'll just want to make sure you pick the right one if you are interested in buying this. Yeah, so my skin looks a lot better now with the combination of the setting spray and the powder. A lot of my dry patches have kind of been erased, which is pretty cool. So I'm going to go in with an eye primer now, and I'm going to pick something a little bit on the sticky side because I'll be working with some indie shadows today. Like, I'll be working with indie mattes and indie shimmers. So I'm going to use the P. Louise eye base. I have it in the shade Rumour 01, so that hasn't changed. I've had this for a pretty long time at this point. And sometimes I'm a little bit messy, like my fingernails kind of gets it all up on my eyelid, but just kind of try and blend those away. I don't paint on a really thick layer. I don't understand how people can do that and not have terrible looking eyeshadow, because I feel like that would just crease and cake and get everywhere. So I'm always impressed at what people can manage online. So yeah, one tube of the P. Louise base would just last you, like, you know, it would last you until you are buried. They like at one point were selling jumbo sizes, and I'm just like, who on earth is ever gonna use an entire jumbo size P. Louise base? Who non-makeup artist? I'll be impressed if I see someone use that up. and then I'm gonna do my eyebrows next. So I'm just gonna use this Morphe micro brow pencil just because, you know, I'm just using these up. It's okay. I mean, the quality is fine. It's just that the undertone is not that great. It like claims to be cool undertone and it's not. It's really not. I'm thinking at this point I might just try the COSMETICS one. I just don't really feel like buying. I hate buying brow pencils full price. I do have a Shiseido one coming in though. Someone on Instagram recommended that to me and I found it on eBay for like $8. Okay, as usual, my eyebrows always end up being kind of thick, but yeah, I need to learn how to draw thinner eyebrows, I really do. Yeah, this one turned out kind of more how I expected it to. I'm kind of thinking I kind of just want to go back to using the Glossier Brow Flick. I'm like super missing it these days, but I don't know if they discontinued it or not. Brows are on, so we're gonna do eyeshadow. So I wanted to do something more springy, but these shades obviously are pretty intense, so I'm probably thinking I might just stick with the lighter shot shades in here for now. So I am going to use the green in Dawn of Fall. I'm thinking to use the green and the gold. Not super novel, but just really want to mess around with those. So I am going to start off with Flipper from Pastel Pup, which is this green up here. So as I've mentioned in other videos, I have like a love-hate relationship with pastels because I love the idea of pastels, but pastel eyeshadows, it seems they always suck. So I used Give Me Glow Pastel Dreams in a video once, and I don't have it anymore because that palette was pretty bad. And I have a really hard time recommending it to anyone. However, when Natasha Denona revealed the pastel palette and also, you know, it got leaked and stuff, I thought to myself, if anyone can do a pastel formula, it would be Natasha. The problem with the Give Me Glow one was that it was just so powdery and chalky and there was no pigmentation and I couldn't build it up. I feel like Natasha's are not going to be like that. They're going to be better. And if they're not, I'm going to be really mad. In the meantime, Menagerie Pastel Pup is actually pretty good. I just don't really like I feel like the color variety in this is pretty like boring pastel rainbow. Like this is not a palette I would ever use on its own. It's definitely meant to be a companion palette, whereas Natasha Denona's pastel palette throws in a couple other shades that really add some variety. Like you can definitely tell a makeup artist put that together. I just have yet to see an indie pastel palette that I really ever liked. Sugar Pill Fun Size is fine, but it's all matte and it's a little bit darker than True Pastel, some of the shades in there, for obvious reasons, so that's why its quality is fine, but it never really scratched the itch for me. So I'm just leaving a hollow portion where the shimmers are gonna go, and I'm just building this up. Yeah, like I said, Pastel Pup is actually pretty good. I just feel like it's so one note and it's definitely not standalone, and it just has your pastel colors, and the black and the white kind of feel a little out of place for sure, and then there's that one random shimmer snowball, again just kind of out of place. But yeah, you can see the shade is definitely really nice. It stands out really well. So now I'm gonna go in with chlorophyll over here, and I'm just gonna use my finger for these because generally these apply better with a finger. So it does have some creaminess to it, but it still feels a little bit hard pressed and dry at a glance. It does have a bit of a grayish base to it, so I don't know how well it'll mesh with this pastel, but we'll see. And I'm just gonna drop this all over the eyelid. It is really pretty. It has a bit of a kind of a gray brown base to it, so it's not best shadow to go with pastel green. It worked in my head, okay. Yeah, interesting green color actually. It feels a lot less greeny once it's on my eye. Yeah, I'm kind of swatching the rest on the back of my hand, and once it's smudged out, you can really see the gray brown base coming through. Interesting. So I'm gonna definitely just kind of keep this tight against my lash line. I'll use something else or kind of try and keep it low. It does pick up pretty well on a brush. We'll see how much fallout I give myself because I am using this dry. The fallout's not too bad. That's good. So I'm just gonna keep it closer to my lash line like that, and I'm not gonna bring it up too far. Yeah, kind of like that. Actually, that doesn't look half bad now. Like now it's working out better. But I definitely think these will perform so much better if you have a glitter glue underneath, because these are still, they don't feel like they're at max opacity. I feel like I could have built it up more. So The other thing that, you know, you would want to consider if you're interested in buying these kinds of palettes from these indie brands is, are you willing to take the time to put on glitter primer beforehand? Like a lot of YouTubers who review these and love these, like Bad to the Brow, do regularly use Fear&A Pixie epoxy. So if you're not willing to do those extra steps, if you find that if you don't want to do that, you might want to just consider skipping these and go for mainstream shadows instead, or go for Terra Moons or Terra Moons because Terra Moons doesn't necessarily need the epoxy to show. Same with like Sugar Drizzle polish. I feel like their shimmers also show best under with some kind of glitter glue. But if you really want to like not have to ever need that, then I would say you definitely would want to just go with Terra Moons. I have a couple of the ultra foiled shadows from JD Glow and Give Me Glow on my wish list. I'm really excited to hopefully be able to get those soon. I'd love to be able to share with you guys a more in-depth breakdown of indie metallics and what my favorites are. Yeah, I don't consider myself an indie encyclopedia to the likes of other YouTubers, you know, because first off, I don't receive PR, so I can't just go buy and test everything versus other people who receive PR and also who, you know, just have more money than I do. If I can help at all, I do want to try and provide some information. But yeah, using this dry just on top of the P. Louise eye base, it looks fine honestly, but I can definitely tell this would look 10 times better underneath some kind of glitter glue, so my bad for not doing that. I like seeing how these shades perform without glitter glue first, just to kind of get a baseline, and so far this actually looks really nice. So now I'm going to go into Spiced. So Spiced is going to be this really pretty rich gold shade here. I think this will go good on the inner part, and I'm just going to use a brush for this. I'm not using a finger because otherwise I will get it all over the place. With a brush dry, I'm actually getting a lot less fallout than I thought I would, so I am very pleased with that. I do think I want to go ahead and buy the Fear&A Pixie epoxy. I do also want to try these under the Pat McGrath eye wand as well. But yeah, you can see it is really pretty still. Like, it definitely looks really nice. And I'm just gonna kind of use my finger and just kind of press over this just a little more, see if I can get a little more out of this. Yeah, this goes on so well with the finger. This gold goes on really well with the finger. This is a really pretty gold shade. Okay, so that's what the eye look is looking like right now. I actually really like how it's turning out. It's really nice. So for the lower lash line, I'm going to go back into Flipper and I'm going to use this in the outer part. It's not like super deep, and I am also going to go ahead and kind of pull the Flipper out further on the upper lash line, just a little bit more, kind of like that. I'm going to use Sunbathe, which is this pastel yellow, and I'm going to kind of use that to mimic the yellow on the upper lash line, but I just don't want to use the gold down there again. And pastel yellows, I feel like, are one of those shades where like 90% of them just absolutely suck, and it ends up looking really, really white. Like, you see, it kind of looks like I just put white under my eye. I feel like it's not just a quality thing, it's also kind of just like an undertone, and you can kind of see it looks like I just put white under my lashes, under my lash line, and it gives a really strange highlighty effect, right? I kind of lost some of the Flipper there, so I'm going to put a little more on. Yeah, pastel lower lash lines always kind of make me look a little strange, I feel like, but... I'm gonna use my UNLEASHIA glitter stick. It's in the shade N2. Really pretty. I'm gonna just dab this on the lower corner. I do really like these, and I have sung my praises about them before, but I feel like they kind of sometimes have trouble actually coming off onto my eyelid. Like, it just ends up picking up the matte shadow instead, so use with care. I think that was a mistake, because now I feel like I just drew white chalk underneath my eyeshadow. That was a mistake. I'm gonna change the shadow. I'm just gonna put another shadow on top of this and it'll be fine. So let me think. But I'm gonna just cover all this disaster with mint frosting, and that should help tone it down significantly so that it doesn't look so bad. So we're just gonna erase everything else I just did in favor of just this green. And like I said, Terra Moons is one of the easiest shimmers to work with. I can use them dry, I can use them with a glitter glue, I can use them with a finger. I really don't have any problems. If you try and use a fluffier brush, you are going to get some fallout, but that's pretty much to be expected. Okay, so we covered that up. but now my lash line is looking pretty flat. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to go into another, I'm just gonna run through these palettes that I have on my desk here, and I'm going to look for a dark matte. I'm gonna go into Lunar Beauty Outer Dimensions because I was gonna use this for my face anyways. I'm gonna go into this dark shade here, and I'm just going to use this to add some darkness to my lower lash line, so that way it kind of can give some dimension to the mint frosting that I just put down everywhere. And because the shimmer I use on the upper lash line has a kind of brownish base to it, it will match. So I guess you guys got a lesson in how to rescue a terrible look too. Okay, so now you can see I put that dimension back into my eyes, and thank goodness. I'm gonna just take a little bit more of that and kind of just put it on the upper lash line just to match. Yeah, just a little bit so that you can kind of see it on both eyes. Now I'm going to, I do need some kind of inner corner highlighter, and I'm not going to be using any of these. I'm going to use something else entirely. This is a lone shade in this palette. It's all alone. It's all by itself. But this is one of the Menagerie singles. It's called Turtle Club. It's one of their trifoils, and it I think came out with the Pastel Pup collection. So I'm going to use this as the inner corner highlight. These are actually really pretty. I do like Menagerie singles. It's hard for me to justify buying more of them right now just because I enjoy my TERRA Moons collection so much. I'm very excited to see what her new products will be. Alright, so that really helps, you know, to kind of bring some unification to this look, adding that. I am gonna do what I've been doing lately, and I'm gonna kind of take it up here and just kind of add a little bit of structure to the look that way. I've been really liking how that looks. And then I'm just gonna flip my brush over and kind of just blend it out a little bit. A little bit on the messy side. We had some disasters, but we're getting there. I'm just gonna put on these. I use these in my VDL video, and my eye look is not super dark, so I'm just gonna use these again. And also I'm just trying to wear these out because I don't really use House of Lashes anymore, so I'm just gonna finish these up, throw them away, and then I'll basically just have doe lashes left and like some random Ardell, because I do want to find like affordable monolid friendly lashes for people on a budget. It's always a peril. Like I make one mistake and then my inner corner pops off. Yeah, so you can just see it's just, there's a difference, but it's not like super big, so these are actually pretty nice. But these are no longer available. Even if you like these, you can't get them anymore. I would recommend instead, if you want something similar, get the Ardell. I think it's 815 or 817. They're super short, very nice. I like those a lot, and they're like anywhere between $5 to $7. I feel like my left lashes always go on better than my right ones these days. I don't know why. I am mildly ambidextrous. Like I would say on a scale of ambidextrous to extremely ambidextrous, I'm ambidextrous. So it's not like it's surprising to me that my left eye does better, but at the same time it's always funny how that works out. Some lower lash mascara. I'm just using Hypnose Drama today. I currently have like a garden of mascaras, and I love it because my ADHD self is so happy having all these random mascaras to try, and I'm just ignoring the fact that they're all gonna dry out. National Lash Day is like the best time to get tons and tons of mascaras, you guys. I got this for half off. I forgot to curl my lashes, so they're not gonna look as good today. For some reason, when I got my lash lift, she accidentally kind of caught some of my lower lashes, so the ends are super crimped weird. It's so weird. It's not like complain worthy, but it was a thing. It was interesting. Yeah, I think this Hypnose Drama is pretty nice. It's just a little awkward to use on the lower lashes. I really liked this on my upper lashes when my lash lift was still visible. I feel like I could use a brown in the waterline to kind of help make this look feel a little bit more earthy. So I'm going to take Nabla Arrow number 5. Again, I'm trying to find something that is the exact same depth as this, but is cool. If anybody finds it, please let me know. But in the meantime, this is really all I got, and I wish I had something better than this. This is still not, it's just not what I want. But it'll do. You can see it just makes my waterline darker so that the pink of my waterline doesn't kind of break up the look. I'm just trying to make my waterline less attention grabbing. And I love these Cupid's arrow, and I really wish they had gone half off for 21 Days of Beauty so I could buy all the rest of them because they have a bunch of other colors too. And that's going to be the eyes complete, so I'm going to move on to the face now. So as I've said before in other videos, whenever I do green, I always feel like I end up using beige blush. Well, first, actually, hold on. I think some eyeliner will help. I'm gonna take Perversion and I'm gonna just do little baby wings. I really think some eyeliner will help this look. Yeah, that helped. I also just like how I look with eyeliner on, so. And then I'm just gonna go ahead and draw on some false lower lashes just so that my outer corner of my lower lash line isn't totally unbalanced. I especially seem prone to getting bald spots, so I draw false lashes to fill those in. Actually, I kind of want to try something that goes a little bit matches with the floral theme, and I know I powdered my face, but I'm gonna use the SheGlam blush in Love Cake. This I actually really like. It's actually super nice. I prefer to blend it out with a brush, as you can see, and I do think it is better to not powder your face first. Putting it on top of this powdered base, I don't see any lifting, so I think if you did use it over powdered base, you're fine. I do kind of press the applicator against the lid of the tube so I don't put on too much at once. But other than that, I don't know. Even with this soft fluffy brush, I feel like it looks really nice. This is one of the better liquid blushes I've tried. The other one I really like is from 3CE, but it's like, you know, it's like $18, $19, $20. I don't think I'll be trying very much SheGlam though, so don't ask me to. It was really just, this liquid blush just really just, I think, caught a lot of people's attention because so many people have been talking about it. It was hard to ignore this product. I put on a little bit too much, so I'm gonna take some off. But yeah, it's a lot easier to blend if you don't powder your face first, but actually you can see I'm still able to work with it and it doesn't actually, yeah, it looks good. It has a little bit of shimmer in it, but it's not enough to be obnoxious, so it doesn't bother me. I don't feel like it does anything, but it doesn't bother me either. And it's like, you know, I think this is like what, like a $4 blush, so. But yeah, I don't really follow SheGlam. I don't really keep up with what they do. I'm probably never gonna buy their eyeshadow palettes. Yeah, these liquid blushes are fine, but I think this and the liquid contour is probably gonna be the extent of what I ever buy from them, just because, I don't know, just reasons, I guess. That's gonna be what the blush looks like, actually super pretty. One thing I like about the SheGlam one is that it does set down, to a pretty soft matte finish, because me and dewy liquid blush products are just mortal enemies and we will never get along. So yeah, that's kind of what that's looking like actually. Actually, this matches really well. This was a good choice. I made a good choice today. So yeah, okay, blush is on. Do I need another shade? I think I'm gonna put some California Love right underneath my eyes. I just can't help it. I think I could use a little bit more dimension. So I'm just gonna pop this right underneath my eyes. California Love is just the shade, man. It just is the shade. So as I said earlier, I do really want to use outer dimensions. I generally really like to use this shade with a mix of this shade, or I mix these two shades, which seems kind of drastic, but actually the coolness is really nice. So, and I'm just gonna use this on the outer part of my face. I just really hope that maybe someday he'll restock those highlighters. It's really all I want from him at this point. But yeah, I really like this face palette. I don't know why, just something about it's really nice. It has the matte white that I really like having too, so I guess that must be part of it. I know like people dig on face palettes, but for me personally, I still really like them. And then I'm gonna go into the lightest two shades and I'm just gonna use this to brighten up my forehead. Kind of run it on my temples. Kind of reverse contouring my temples. I wish the white pan was larger, that's all. So that's gonna be the face done. So you can really see the slight gold shift that is inside the SheGlam blush. Really pretty. So I'm gonna, when I do my highlighter, I'm gonna kind of try my best to work with that. So this is one of my most favorite highlight shades that I own. I saw the Game Beauty highlighters and those are so tempting, but I thought back to my collection of highlighters and I was like, it's hard to justify buying highlighters right now. So I'm gonna use Golden Mint from Becca. I actually use this a lot. It's kind of silly how much I use this, but it is just such a good highlighter. The one time you need a green highlighter, Golden Mint absolutely comes through for you because it's not as green as it appears, but at the same time it goes really well with any green look you have. It has a very slight golden shift to it as well, so it'll really play into the blush that I just laid down. Golden Mint, this is a beautiful shade and I'm so glad that I went crazy and bought all the shades I was missing. except for High Angel, which is forever the one that got away. That and the MAC Pony highlighters are 3 highlighters I will always be mad that I don't have. At least I have this one. But yeah, you can see just how pretty this is, and I feel like the Shimmering Skin Perfector, just nothing comes quite close to the beauty of this formula in terms of a Western metallic highlighter with more base pigment. Nothing really can beat Becca. So yeah, that's gonna be the highlighter for that, and then I'm going to a different highlighter for my nose, which is kind of just par for the course at this point, so I'm going to be using Revelation. So I'm gonna line my lips. I'm using Nabla's Cupid Arrow in number 1. This is definitely just a really great lip liner. I also heard wind of Bobbi Brown discontinuing their Luxe shadows, and I never got my hands on Heat Ray. It's back in stock now though. The only thing is that like I really wasn't planning on buying Bobbi Brown shadows because they're $38 each, so I'm like super torn on what to do about that. Well, I've used the YesStyle ones on camera before, and I don't actually think I've ever used the Fenty one on camera before, so I'm going to use the Fenty Gloss Cream and Cupcake. I actually prefer these far more over their gloss bombs just because they have more pigment to them. I've just come to realize I don't use sheer glosses. If it's gonna be glossy, I just want it to be pigmented. Okay, yeah, that matches really well. These are a little bit on the sticky side, but they feel really nice and they don't have any plumping to them. So I'm not interested in the gloss heats because I don't like plumping. I think Cupcake was in some kind of holiday pack or whatever. I don't know if it's permanent or not. I don't do my homework on Fenty because I don't really follow them right now. Let me take my hair down. I'm finally done. So I zoomed out so that you guys can see my whole face of makeup, but not my top because I'm always just wearing comfy clothes because I'm still recovering. But yeah, this is gonna be the finished look. I actually really love how this turned out. I've done a lot of olivey green looks, but the last bright spring green look I did, I think looking back on it is kind of cringe. Like, wasn't that good. So this is a really good kind of improvement on top of that. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Let me just like hold up all the palettes that I pulled from so that way I can get myself an epic thumbnail because I used so many. I'm gonna get the thumbnail. I'm gonna get the thumbnail. These are all the palettes I use in this video, so okay. Please feel free, always ask me any questions about anything that's on my face. But yeah, other than that, that's gonna be it from me. I'm gonna sign off now, and yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Bye-bye!